Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. It's Thursday again. And Thursday
Coupled time.
Coupled time. And we have a really, really amazing topic today. Because we want to talk about our anus and about anal sex. And yes, we dare to do so. And I think just speaking the word already says so much, you know, because it's like for us, and you wrote it so beautiful in the text, it's like the one topic that is most misunderstood. And there's so much projection on it. And like for us, you know, and we want to talk about it. And how we activated our anus, how we integrated in our sexuality, how we changed it, what we learned through it, how we healed so much in our lives and ourselves through it.
And how we use it to heal ourselves and to heal the soul also.
Yes. So yes, we're talking about anal sex. And it's so much more than just something dirty.
I have always to laugh when you say anal sex. This is funny.
You see, there's a little part still entertained. Anal sex, anal sex, anal sex, anal sex. So yeah, but feel into it. How do you feel when we use the word anal sex, you know? And how, I'm so curious to hear how you feel about it. Whoever's joining, how do you feel about anal sex? What does it do to you when you when you hear the word anal or anus even? What does it do to you? What is like something that you feel inside? I would love to hear that. Please share with us what your thoughts about this. What your thoughts are about this. Yeah. So anal sex.
Yeah, how to approach this topic, huh?
Okay. So I think to start, as we already said, it's the one topic that that's most misunderstood in our society. And there's so much projection on it. So much, it's like most people think it's dirty. It's not hygienic. How did you put it?
Yeah, but how does it come?
Yeah, well, just what's the protection first?
Oh, okay. So I think there is this kind of dirty protection on the one hand, but on the other hand, there's also this kind of sexual projection, like from porn and stuff.
And it's a big taboo.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah. And big taboos makes even hotter sometimes, or more the tension higher to have it. Because it's forbidden.
But it's like taboo. All of these, I feel like it's always in between these poles, you know? Like either it's like something that really turns you on, but it's a taboo and I do it, or it's something that's a complete no-go. But a lot of times there's not like this in-between field, you know? And we want to explore a little bit with you because we think it's so much more than what society projects on it. So, yeah. Let's start. So maybe let's let's take a little journey back as 5 years ago. What do you remember when we're talking about anal sex 5 years ago?
Well, I want to try it. I wanted to try, and you were not very enthusiastic about it.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened to you? So, approaching you there, you were like frozen.
Yeah. So I remember Christian touching me on my asshole. And yes, I'm using these kind of words because I really want to loosen them up a little bit, you know, and all the protection around it. And I tensed so much, and I completely froze, and I started to cry. I was completely, like, I was not in this world anymore. I was just frozen. It was horrible. And even further back, the first time I let anybody, any guy, any man enter my anus, it was so painful because he entered without anything, and it was so fucking painful. And tense, and I was not prepared, and so I had a really horrible experience there, you know, because I didn't know anything about it. I think we don't know a lot about our yoni or lingam, but talking about the anus, we know even less. So 5 years ago, really, it would have been an absolute no-go for you to enter there, even to touch me there. So let's make a little journey until today.
Well, I want to add something. Okay. From a relationship before, it was a really long-term relationship, and my partner, she says, "You're not normal. Why don't you do you want so abnormal things?" So this is not normal.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I'm curious to hear, whoever is watching, like, how do you feel about it? Is it something that's normal for you, or do you think it's not normal to want this, or to even talk about it and really be honest about it? And before the question is gone,
There was a comment
about Janella saying, I just learned, maybe in school, it's dangerous and you can get injured. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'd love to, to know, like, what do you have a feeling about it? What can happen? Like, what is your thought on this? What is dangerous about it? But yeah, it's interesting. I think there's like these projections that a lot of times we can't even grab them. They're just like somewhere in us, thinking it's dangerous, it's insecure, it's I don't know what, it's maybe not hygienic enough, and then we can get diseases. But a lot of times we don't really have any idea.
Of course, and in the first thing, it's not connected to pleasure.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah?
I would say the first, maybe not the first, because maybe it's a baby, it's different. But after training to suppress and press it until you're starting to be a sexual being, even more, it's like, I don't know, 10, 20 years. It's not connected to pleasure.
No, it's not at all. So to dive into this, because I want to really make this on point today, because we could talk about it for hours. How do we live it today?
Yeah, maybe you will want to answer it.
So,
because for me it hasn't changed much, because I was always into it, and I'm still.
Okay, so 5 years later, we've discovered this a lot, and I started to learn that, to make it short, through the last 4 or 5 years, I really was able to let go of a lot of blocks and tension inside, and I let energy flow. And through that, I discovered that my anus started to open and to wide. And now, if Christian enters, a lot of times my butthole is it's so open and so wide that he can just like really smoothly slide in. And it's so open, and now for me,
it's sucking it in.
It's sucking it. It wants it, literally. Yeah. So there's a huge change there, because I was always so tense, and you could have like really like this. And there's something I want to talk about it also, because there's a reason why we are like this. But I opened so much, and now like really, she has a name. She wants it, and she's asking for it. And so what I just discovered now is when we have anal sex, something magical happened when we had anal sex. And yes, breathe into this when I'm sharing this now. And we looked into each other's eyes while Christian was penetrating me in my anus. And that was the most intimate experience I ever had in my life. And we told this to a friend, and when we did, she was like this, because she was like, oh my God, fuck, this is so intimate, And it does something to us. And you know why? Our experiences, or what we think, having sex looking into somebody's eyes is really intimate already, because you really see this person really, really like deep into the soul. But having sex in the anus and looking into each other's eyes is, for us, for me, it's even more intimate, because the anus for me is connected to all my shadows also. And all the things that I don't want others to see, all my shame and my underworld, the darkness. And so having sex and somebody looking into your eyes is allowing that person to see you in your darkness and with your shadows, and you really make yourself vulnerable there. So the first time we made this experience, afterwards I was so touched, I cried. I was so fucking touched, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened, but this was so intimate and so close, and it really touched me. So my experience was, and there was nothing, like, it was just so much deeper than just having pleasure around it, but it was so deep and so intimate and really healing. So this is our experience now. And
yeah, what did you do to come to this point?
So what I did is, I really think there is so much potential in our anus. When it comes to freeing yourself from shame, from guilt, from conditioning, and all of that shit that you don't want to have in your life. A lot of that is actually blocked in your sacral chakra, in your yoni, in your sexual organs, but a lot is actually like really like blocked in your anus. And that's, yeah.
Because you're talking about chakra, it's also the root chakra.
And the root chakra, yes, thank you. So it's like really like blocked there. It's like this. It's really tense. It's like do this for a moment. Like really tense your hands. This is how your anus is. And what I did is really through a lot of processes and workshops and hypnosis meditations, I worked on these energies. I worked on these emotions, and step by step, I was able to release them. And bit by bit, my anus opened. And I did this in different ways. You know, I really like going into the unconsciousness, working with all of these emotions without really aiming for releasing the anus. But I also did workshops on it, where it was all about the anus and releasing it. You know, and it was about embodiment and just body processes. So different things I did that released, and it's mostly, I believe it's a lot of times it's shame and guilt that's blocked there. And we have that, like the Germans, you know, like the society in Germans, they are guilt. How do you say it? The guilt is the one topic that's the base in our society, you know, guilt and shame actually. And they are,
but it's more guilt, yeah.
But it's more guilt.
So this affects all Western societies, which are guilt-based, and the Eastern ones are more shame-based.
So we have it in our, like, we are raised and feeling guilt, you know, and we have that, a lot of that is blocked in the anus. And that's why a lot of times it's so plugged, you know, but by releasing this and letting energies flow, you can really release the anus. And this is not only amazing for your sexuality, but it's going to set you free. Because, you know, like, think about it for a moment. Your root chakra starts down there. But if the root chakra is blocked already, then the energy, you know, like the root chakra energy, all of that cannot flow naturally and easily. So if that is blocked, how is the energy supposed to rise into your sacral chakra? And your sacral chakra is the energy, or the chakra where the sexual energy flows. So if that one is blocked, and a lot of times it is, how is the energy supposed to circulate and to flow even higher, you know? And this is a lot of times why we cannot feel a lot of pleasure, why we are not sensitive, why don't we feel the energy? We are fucking sensual and energetic beings, but we can't feel it because a lot of times it's blocked. So by releasing this energy, mostly also in the root chakra and sacral chakra, you will learn to feel so much more of the energy. Like now, through thinking into my yoni, I will feel her vibrating, but it didn't used to be that way, you know? So it's practice also. And there's many beautiful ways, but it will really set you free and and you will gain your power, because like your root chakra and sacral chakra, this is your powerhouse. Also, your chakra here is your power in the solar plexus, you know, and releasing them will set you free and you will gain back your power.
Okay,
but to come back to the anal sex.
To make it short, it's like the Kundalini energy is rising from bottom to top, and if you're blocked. And the root chakra is the first chakra, so if you're blocked in the first chakra, then nothing will rise and you will be stuck in this low vibrating energy.
And I think that affects your sexuality also.
Of course, yeah.
So I believe, you know, like opening the anus is going to help you a lot to feel the sexual energy. A lot. And what you can do also is, you know, starting to, with coconut oil, maybe to massage it a little bit, to loosen it. That's something beautiful you can do. It's like the armoring that you do for the yoni, you can do that for the anus also. So, yes. What else is there to say about anal sex? I would love to know, because it's like something from, I think, a big thing for women already, but how is it for you as a man to integrate your anus?
I think from a body perspective, it's like it's pleasurable for men and women also. They are different body related things, of course, because you have, through the anus you can have access or activate your spots, G spots or A spots in your yoni. And for men it's like what's the English name? Prostata?
Yeah, prostata?
I don't know. So this is different, and it's both wonderful energetic places to be and to explore.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when it comes to man, see that's again, there's so much protection and so much conditioning there.
Of course, yeah.
Saying, oh, this is something only gay people do. And I mean, you know, for me, like, I'm not saying this because, you know, I'm saying there's something wrong about it, but I say there's so much protection. And saying, oh, this is not something masculine to do, even more than for women, you know. And I think we need to let go of all of these traditions and beliefs, you know, because we are really blocking ourselves from the whole experience that we can have. So I really like, you know, our anus, yeah.
I want to add something. And of course, it is a more feminine energy, receiving, taking it. But it's not development or the spiritual path or whatever. The growth is not about being masculine. It is about integrating all aspects into you, and this means also integrate the female energy, and it's a wonderful way to get in touch with the female energy and to then integrate it and create even higher vibrating male energy out of it. So yes.
And that means, I mean, that's why I think working with the anus really is like a lot of personal development.
Yeah, it is.
Because you will definitely encounter all of your like shame and guilt and smallness and all of your conditions. Really, this is why I said like diving into them means you're meeting your shadows and your darkness, and that's beautiful, you know. And I believe what I wanted to say is, you know, our yoni, our lingam, there's like so many nerve endings there. That's why they're so highly sensitive, and yes, that's why we can, you know, feel like the orgasm there really, really strong, even so you can feel it in the whole body. But the anus also has so many nerve endings. And I don't think that nature did anything out of coincidence, you know. I believe that the anus has so many nerve endings because it's supposed to feel pleasure. There's so much pleasure in your anus, you know, and it's just about opening for it and just exploring and being like, okay, yes, if there's all of these nerve endings, like, why should they be there, you know? And I think society really, really disgraced the anus because it's only dirty, but it's actually not. It's a holy place for me. Really, it's not dirty. Maybe it's dirty if you only shit, because then only shit comes out. Sorry for saying that, but for me, it's a holy place. And also, as we said in the text, you know, the yoni is a beautiful, beautiful portal to the light and the universe. But for me, the anus also is a portal that brings you to another realm. And yes, maybe it's a portal to your underworld. Yeah. But the underworld there's so much power in your underworld also. And connecting to it really will set you free, because you're not only light, but you're dark also. So if you're completely like dismissing the dark side, or, you know, your anus, then maybe you have a topic or problem with the darkness inside of you.
And you miss, you know, the half of your existence.
Yes, yeah, you do. So for me, the yoni and the anus, maybe think about it this way, combined, they're a combination of light and dark. But if you completely block out the darkness, then you're not living half of your existence. You are also dark. And yes, we all have darkness inside of us, you know, and so it's a beautiful way to combine them, to make yourself whole, also to face it, and to heal yourself there, to heal your shadows, to make peace and befriend them. Thinking, is there anything else?
And of course, I want to add something in terms of conditioning and imprints, because controlling your anus is one of the first things you learn, and you're forced somehow to learn it as a baby. And so this is one of the oldest imprints you have, and if you can get rid of these conditioning, then it's a huge freedom.
How are you conditioned there? What do you mean exactly?
Like, you learn to hold and not to shit every time you have to, right? Like in the diaper, you learn to hold it there. But this holding is so strong, and you don't...
I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, of course you have to learn, but you also have to free you from this conditioning. And because you hold too much, most times you're, as you said before, you're just tightening too much.
And that because we are so tense a lot of times, and every time we tense up, we are like this, and then we hold, you know.
And this blocks the energy, this blocks your body, this blocks even your chakras, this blocks all the life force
energy
within you. So it's like one of the greatest blockages you have.
So it's a big one, huh? And I think this talk went into a beautiful, like, it's like, I feel like it's a really peaceful energy here. And I like that, actually, you know? And maybe it's going to give you a different and new perspective about your anus and anal sex. So maybe you can open, you know, for all the miracles and all the miracles you will meet there, and all the magic you will meet there, and how much potential it has. And maybe it's time to look at it and to meet it, you know, and maybe that will really set you free. Like, it really gave me a lot of power, facing and meeting and befriending my shadows, my darkness, and through that my anus. Thank you, beautiful, for listening, and for everybody who's going to listen to this later. I think I feel complete right now.
Yeah. There are no questions left.
Yeah, it's interesting. This was like the most quiet talk we had ever since. And I do understand that, because it is an intense topic. I'd love to know your feelings and thoughts about this, whoever is listening to it later also. So please share them with us. That would be beautiful. All right, sending you lots of love and kisses. We're really excited for the next talk. Like always, if you have any specific topic about relationship, about love, or sexuality that you want us to talk about, let us know.
Just send us a message or comment below. Thank you for the hearts.
Thank you for the hearts, and sending you lots of love. Kisses.
Ciao,
beauties. Bye bye.